So with everybody raving about Dune Part 2 and saying how awesome it is and that it's cinematic genius, I had to see it. But I have to admit, I'm not sure what the hype is about. Call me crazy. Maybe it's because I didn't read the books. I'm not a fan of the lore or the myth or whatever else is going on here. This movie bored me stupid. That doesn't mean it was a bad movie. I don't think this was a bad movie. There was a lot of good aspects to this. But it's not a great movie. Cinematic perfection? Definitely not. But if you want to talk about cinematics as far as special effects and visuals, then yes, that's a totally different story. The visual special effects, cinematics in that aspect were incredible. Like, they were really, really impressive. And if you're a person who really admires that in a movie, this is definitely for you. Unfortunately, I want more than just that. A little bit of color would be nice. I mean, I feel like all I saw was sand being blown around for 2.5 hours, which is kind of boring when you have tans and grays and blacks. It's almost like watching a black and white film. But seriously though, that's all you saw for 2.5 hours was sand. But this movie was just really, really slow. And I can't emphasize that enough. I mean, we have 20 minutes of what feels like incredibly boring and useless dialogue with absolutely no interest involved whatsoever. And then we get 3 minutes of really cool action. Then I'm like, all right, we're going to pick up the movie and get going. And then 3 minutes is over. We go back to another 20 minutes of boring dialogue. And then we get another 3 minutes of really cool action. And then 20 more minutes of boring dialogue. Like, can we keep increasing the interest, increasing my thrive and desire to want to be here? No, it's like they give you just a little bit and then throw it all in the garbage. Give you a little bit more and then throw it all in the garbage. I don't know what they were thinking. Like, there's no consistency to the flow of this movie. And something tells me I'm going to get a lot of hate in the comments for this because I know so many people love this movie. And again, not bad, just boring. But let's talk about these actors for a minute because there are some really good ones and there are ones that I kind of have questions about. Zendaya, we'll start with her. Absolutely loved her character. She was really, really good. She was very much in it emotionally. You could see it, the expressions in her face, her body language. She was giving her all to this character and I felt it and I enjoyed it. Timothee Chalamet, I mean, this guy, he was a roller coaster. The same with the rest of the tone of this movie. It was up and down and up and down. There were moments where I felt that he was putting in just as much as Zendaya was with his emotions and expressions. But then there were times where he was very flat and very tonal and it didn't look like he wanted to be there. He was just there to collect the paycheck. Like, let's get the scene over with. I just want to leave. And I don't want to feel like that's what the actor is thinking. Like, I want to be convinced you're in this. He just didn't do it for me. Until they were on screen together, they got this little love story thing going on that works. And when they're together, it's like Timothee Chalamet, his personality changes, his acting changes. He gets really, like, he feeds off of Zendaya and they mesh well. And I almost believe in this love story, but the second they separate and go off screen, he goes flat again and he gets this weird, like, I don't know. There's parts of me that are like, I don't get this guy. Maybe I'm just not a fan of him, but he was very up and down. There were scenes where he was great, scenes that he wasn't, and I don't know. But then we got the shining star of this movie. The guy who's going to get villain of the year for sure. Austin Butler played the most incredible villain I have seen in a long time. I kid you not, this guy is truly a psychopath, or at least he makes you believe it. His facial expressions, the death and darkness in his eyes. He is exactly what I want in a psychopathic killer. He literally kills people just to see how sharp his blade is. That's the kind of guy that'll scare the hell out of you. And he was the saving grace for this movie. He really was, because until he showed up, I was ready to just bail. I was done with the movie. I was too bored. But when he showed up, I'm interested. Unfortunately, he didn't show up till like 2/3 of the way through the movie. So I had already basically mentally checked out. But when this guy shows up and you see him in action and he gets to fighting and just the rage that this guy has, man, why couldn't you put more of that in there? This is one of those times I was actually rooting for the bad guy to win just because I liked how dangerous he is. It's crazy, but once in a while you get that villain who's just that good. I just wish the rest of the movie was that good. I just was bored. Like, a lot. Like, I was bored stupid. This movie was just so uneventful. And I know I'm totally going against the grain here because this thing has been getting rave reviews left and right, and people absolutely love it. But I don't know why. Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm weird. I don't know. Staring at sand for 2.5 hours isn't fun for me. And, 20 minutes of boring, stupid dialogue, that's like, I want to see action. I want to see fighting. I want to see something interesting. And what little interesting I got was short-lived every time. There was a cool battle going on. 3 minutes, maybe. Poof, gone. Oh, look, another 20 minutes dialogue. Oh, 3 more minutes of fighting and action and cool stuff. Oh, we can't have that. Poof, gone. I don't know. Maybe I'm just not a Dune fan. This movie wasn't for me. Obviously, it's for a lot of people. I'm just not one of them. Feel free to grow me in the comments. Tell me how wrong I am or how much you loved it, or maybe, God forbid, there's somebody out there like me who also didn't like this movie too much. Let me know that down in the comments too. And maybe you enjoyed the video enough that you actually want to hit that like button and subscribe button on your way out if you haven't already. I would appreciate it. And I'll catch you next time at the concession stands.